Hey there, do you want to learn about real dolphins? Well, too bad, because this is an astronomy project. So, we're going to be talking about the constellation that looks more like a kite or a toddler's doodle of a mouse than an actual dolphin, known as Delphinus. Or if you go to www.underthenightsky/constellation/Delphinus, you will find what appears to be more of a eldritch, terrifying beast that does not look anything like a dolphin. And I cannot stress how much when I first saw that, when I looked at it, I thought, what is that? How could I ever even draw that? Because that was my only reference art. There's nothing of Delphinus other than that. Because, well, Delphinus has nothing. It's a tiny thing. There's only 2 stories. It didn't even get enough to look like a nice constellation. So, what I'm doing is essentially, I'm watching John Wick, and, that's cool and all, but, what about the dog? I want to watch the dog. I want the dog lore, and there's, 2 minutes of exposition about the dog, and I'm just making a whole 5-minute project about the deep and in-depth lore of John Wick's dogs. So, I'm going to be talking about John Wick dogs for this video. I hope you try to enjoy. So, the mythology all starts with Poseidon. He's just, doing Poseidon things as you do. And then he sees Aphrodite. She's just dancing as you do as well, I guess, when you're underwater. And Poseidon's all like, now that I think about it, I think I am a god. I think I could probably just kidnap her and make her my wife. And, he tries to do such as you do when you're a Greek god. But somehow, I can't even, there's no explanation ever given as to how, but, Aphrodite just escapes his grab. She just swims away and hides from the literal god of the sea, which, I guess, whatever. Who am I to say? Maybe you should probably just send 1,000 fish out to search for her in that area, but no. That's too easy. When the god Poseidon can't find Aphrodite in the water, he sends out one singular dolphin. I don't even know this thing counts as a dolphin. And it's just, somehow Delphinus manages to find out Aphrodite. And apparently Delphinus just convinces Aphrodite that Poseidon truly does love her. And honestly, I can't describe this as anything other than a Hollywood romance where it's refusing to take no for an answer until she finally just gives up and says fine. And you know what? Apparently it worked, and they got married. And to show their everlasting true gratefulness to Delphinus, they turned him into a constellation that doesn't even look good. And also, the love, it was also proven to be so great by Poseidon being a notorious cheater on Aphrodite. So, real great job there. As for the only other story of Delphinus, there's basically 2 variations of it. One is much more reasonable in my eyes than the other, but they both carry the same themes. It's just the way it happens is slightly different. So basically what happens is, in the first story, a poet's on a ship, and then, oh no, there's bandits, and that's not good. And so the guy pleads to just sing one last song before, he dies. And, the bandits, as bandits do, just comply to every word he says or something. And so he sings a song that apparently charms Delphinus into saving him, which I call that a pretty big success for living. As for the other story, you see, there's a man trapped on a ship, surrounded by bandits. What will he ever do? And now you might be thinking, wait a minute, this sounds a lot like the last story, but here's the difference. He's a musician. And also, there's Apollo. Yeah, Apollo apparently is related to the story. He hears the man sing, and I guess it makes more sense with the fact that he's a singer and he's singing rather than a poet singing. But he hears him singing, and he's like, hey, Delphinus, my boy, go save him. And, he's being saved, and unlike the last story, being saved by Apollo is probably the worst thing that you could have happen to you. So I'd call that a pretty big loss for living. Anyways, that's the end of this project, at least the first part of it. Thank you for listening, and I'll I'll live.